Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we have the 5th episode of the 30 Teams in 30 Days series, where I play a quick game with the team and I try to win with them, and I talk about them during the length of the video. So today, like I said, we have the 5th episode. We're going to be talking about the Boston Celtics today, and we're going to go up against the Golden State Warriors. Luckily, this guy does end up playing a lot longer than the last guy does, so hopefully this will be a more entertaining video gameplay-wise, and it'll just be pretty standard, as I usually do. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the Boston Celtics, so let's get right into it. The Boston Celtics, their last year's record was 40-42, which was good for 7th in the East. A really big surprise team. I really didn't expect them to do as well as they did last year, considering the year before that, they did pretty badly picking up Marcus Smart in the draft. But like I said, they were in the lottery the year before, so similar to the Milwaukee Bucks, it was really surprising to see them make the playoffs. And yeah, they were good for 7th in the East. They ended up losing the first round to the Cavs. But this team is really interesting in that it's good enough to make the playoffs in the East, yet they have so many draft picks that in the future they're set as well. Danny Ainge, their current GM, is a complete genius in terms of front office moves. He's moved around parts and he's rebuilt the team very efficiently and very well. Ever since losing the big three in Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, KG, and then losing Doc to the Clippers a couple years ago, and then even losing Rondo this past year, trading him to the Mavericks. But Danny Ainge has done an amazing job rebuilding the team, and it's a completely different type of rebuild than what Sam Hinkie is trying to do with the 76ers in terms of completely just revamping his whole team. Danny Ainge just try to go step by step, picking up assets along the way, and then hopefully trying to make a big move in the future. So their current coach is Brad Stevens, and I think Brad Stevens is probably one of the biggest reasons as to why they're doing so well. I mean, he used to coach at Butler, and they did really well in the NCAA tournaments year after year, and ever since he got onto the Celtics, he's been an amazing coach, and I think they have him locked up for 3 or 4 more years. So in terms of coaching, they're really set on that front. Brad Stevens has been an amazing coach for the Celtics in terms of player development and just bringing out the potential of his players. So some key players on their team include Isaiah Thomas, who they picked up, who they traded for from the Suns last year. They got Marcus Smart, who I said that they drafted last year, and Avery Bradley, who's been, their perimeter guy, perimeter defender for the past couple of years, ever since the big three left. Avery Bradley's been kind of the guy that they rely on, and I think they signed him to an extension last year, so they'll have him locked up for a couple more years. The big thing about the Boston Celtics, about this team, is that they don't necessarily have a star player. They just have a lot of seemingly good rotation players, but not enough to win a championship. Like I said, they're good enough to make the playoffs, especially in the East, but they definitely don't have the star power to go all the way and make the finals and even win for a championship. But all of these guys are solid, good, third options, fourth options, maybe in second options, but it's going to be interesting where they go in terms of direction of what they're going to do in the next couple of years to really get back into playoff championship contention, not necessarily playoff. But adding on to what I was just saying, they picked up some good rotation players this offseason, signing Amir Johnson, trading for Perry Jones, trading for David Lee, re-signing Jerebko. A lot of good, solid moves in terms of keeping rotation guys, keeping role players around you. But I think they're really trying to go for that huge splash, that one really big superstar. I think that's what they're really going for. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see if any of these guys can either pan out to be that kind of star, or if they're going to use their assets and trade for one of them. So like I said, I've been talking a lot about assets in this video in terms of the Boston Celtics, and a big part of it is that they have an incredible amount of draft picks for the next few years. The 76ers have done a really good job at hoarding their draft picks, but I think the Boston Celtics are definitely up there in terms of just grabbing a lot of draft picks whenever they can. They have 11 first-round picks and 11 second-round picks into 2019, so that is 22 draft picks all around going into 2019. That's just an insane amount of draft picks, and I think the biggest thing they can use this for is to trade them away for a big superstar. As we saw in the Harden trade a couple years ago, collecting these assets is a really huge deal just because you can combine these and use them to, you know, trade them into a future superstar. So if the Boston Celtics can find the right move and find the right player, they can definitely get a start, since they have all these assets that they need. And like I said, all these guys, all these rotation players are pretty good assets, you know, as well. Not superstars that are untradeable, but, you know, seemingly good role players that could be traded. So the X factor is just going to be, can their young players grow? How much are they going to grow? Are they going to be able to have good veteran leadership impact? I think that's what I'm trying to say. With all these veterans that they picked up in Amir Johnson, David Lee, etc., you know, we'll see if all these players will have an impact in the young players' development. And lastly, is there going to be a star that emerges? Can they pick up a star? Can they trade one? Or is one of their young players, such as Smart or Bradley, going to step up and really make a huge splash for them? So my prediction is that they're going to have another first-round exit. Unless something really big happens during the season, I don't see them making it past the first round, just simply because they don't have the star power to do that. But other than that, the future's bright for this team, and it's going to be very, very exciting to see where this team goes in the next couple of years. And if you're a Boston Celtics fan, it's time to be excited again, because the Celtics are back, and after a few years of not making, I think it was 2 years of not making the playoffs, they are back into playoff contention, and it's going to be exciting to see where this team goes from here on out. So that's it. This is the fifth episode of the 30 teams in 30 days. Next episode, I think we have the Los Angeles Clippers, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys hopefully soon. Have a nice day.